Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday, September 21st here in Korea. Live from Seoul, I'm Han Da-eun. North Korea's nuclear test site is coming under the microscope yet again. Satellite imagery show the regime has covered up unused tunnel at the site, suggesting Pyongyang could be readying for its third nuclear test this year. We start with Unification Ministry correspondent Connie Kim.
North Korea may be readying for yet another nuclear test at an unused underground tunnel at its Punggye-ri test site. Multiple sources within the South Korean government said Wednesday that a cover had been set up at the site's second and third underground tunnel. The covers were set up even before the regime's fifth nuclear test on September 9th. Military and intelligence authorities are said to be keeping a close eye on any further activity that could suggest an imminent test. This month's nuclear test was conducted at the second underground tunnel, but no nuclear test has ever been conducted at the third tunnel. The U.S.-based North Korea monitoring website 38 North says a cover at the second tunnel was not removed after this month's test, but it has been revealed for the first time that a cover was set up at the unused third tunnel. With Pyongyang claiming this week that it successfully tested a rocket engine for a geostationary satellite, South Korean and U.S. military and intelligence authorities are strengthening their monitoring of North Korea. Incoming U.S. Strategic Commander John E. Hyten said if the North has a capability to put a satellite into orbit, the rocket would be powerful enough to reach the continental United States. Connie Kim, ARIRANG News.
U.S. President Barack Obama didn't mince his words about North Korea in his final keynote speech to the United Nations on Tuesday. He came out strongly against the regime for its recent nuclear test, saying it has to pay the price for its highly destabilizing actions. Park Jong-hong has the details.
It was his last speech to the United Nations as U.S. president, but his scathing remarks on North Korea were some of his harshest yet. President Obama said the regime must, quote, face consequences for its reckless actions, warning that North Korea's recent nuclear test endangers the entire world. His comments come at a time when the UN Security Council is working on new sanctions on Pyongyang in response to its fifth nuclear test. The U.S. leader said that while Iran agrees to accept constraints on its nuclear program, North Korea pushed ahead with a test that threatens global security. He added that the world cannot escape the prospect of a nuclear war unless all nations are committed to stopping the spread of nuclear weapons and pursuing a world without them. Obama also compared the economies of the two Koreas. He said the stark contrast between the success of the South and the wasteland of the North shows a centrally planned, controlled economy is a, quote, dead end. Experts say President Obama's remarks show he'll continue to up the pressure on North Korea right until the end of his administration. Park Jong-hong, ARIRANG News.
North Korea issue is also expected to take center stage at South Korea's National Assembly today, where four-day interpellation session continues. Lawmakers from the three main political parties will take aim at top government officials for a second day, quizzing them on the country's handling of national security and foreign affairs. North Korea will likely take up the bulk of the day, considering Pyongyang carried out its most powerful nuclear test yet less than 2 weeks ago. Senior government officials, including Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn, Unification Minister Hong Yong-pyo, and Defense Minister Han Min-gu, will be fielding questions posed by a dozen lawmakers from the ruling, main opposition, and minor opposition parties. Questions will focus on the economy tomorrow and educational and social issues on Friday. The chairman of Korea's fifth largest conglomerate, Lotte Group, is back home this morning after a grueling 18-hour questioning session by prosecutors in Seoul over allegations of corruption and embezzlement. Shin Dongbin was grilled over accusations he orchestrated a series of shady deals between the group's affiliates in the process of mergers and acquisitions and selling the assets of certain affiliates to others at below market prices. The 61-year-old was also also quizzed on whether he was directly involved in having executives at Lotte Construction amass slush funds amounting to about $27 million over the past 10 years. Shin reportedly denied all the charges. He said he was unaware of the funds and deals among affiliates were based on management decisions and not intended to betray the trust of stakeholders. With a 3-month-long probe winding down, the prosecution is considering whether to seek an arrest warrant for Shin. In the meantime, they have decided to indict all the key family members involved in managing the group, including Shin's father and the group's founder, Shin Gyung-ko. The number of long-term unemployed is on a sharp rise here in Korea, further stoking concerns the country is falling into a prolonged period of low growth. Data from Statistics Korea shows the number of people unemployed for more than 6 months stood at 182,000 last month, up 62,000 from a year earlier. That marks the fastest on-year rise on record. Related data was first compiled in June 1999 based on revised standards. The ratio of long-term unemployed among the overall number of unemployed is also rising rapidly. The figure came in at over 18% last month, the highest since late 1999, when Korea was struggling to get back on its feet after the 1997 Asian financial crisis. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more top stories here on ARIRANG. Thank you for watching.